Rachel Green had one of the biggest will they won't they relationship dramas of the 90s. She had the haircut of the 90s. Jennifer Aniston, total icon. But was Rachel really such a great character? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Rosie Blythe. I'm the author of the Princess Guide to Life book series, and on this channel we talk about everything from spirituality to money to entertainment, as in today. Friends first graced our screens back in 1994, 30 years ago. So I thought it'd be fun to do a deep dive into which of the characters is the best and the worst. And I'm beginning with Rachel. When I was preparing to make these videos, I watched every episode of every season in order with paper notepads, and I had a good column and a bad column for every character, and I am afraid to say Rachel's bad column filled up twice as fast as anyone else's. I was quite surprised. Turns out she's pretty terrible. This might be one of the longer videos.
It started about a half hour before the wedding. I was in this room where we were keeping all the presents, and I was looking at this gravy boat, this really gorgeous Limoges gravy boat, when all of a sudden, sweet and low, I realized that I was more turned on by this gravy boat than by Barry.
So first of all, Rachel jilted Barry at the altar. Now this is often kind of used as an example of how brave she is, and while it is part of her character growth, the first step in her new life where she's just like, no, I don't want to follow in my mother's footsteps. I'm not going to marry someone I don't love just for security, just to have that status of being a doctor's wife and being a woman who doesn't work, just spends time with other women who don't work and just shop all the time. So it is a brave move in that way, but I feel like this happens a lot on TV where someone jilts somebody at the altar and it's seen as like this brave thing, like, oh wow, you didn't go through with this marriage that you knew was wrong for you. Sorry, but the time to decide that is months, weeks, days before that. You don't leave someone at the altar. I actually think this is one of the cruelest things that you can do to somebody. Like, if you leave someone at the altar, that is going to haunt their nightmares for the rest of their life. It's so humiliating. They're never going to forget it. It's going to be a scandal that will never die down. Surely at that point, you just go through with it, and then you afterwards get it annulled, get a divorce a couple of months later. And it's, you know, it might be a bit of a scandal, but at least you haven't humiliated that other person. Now, as it happens, Barry turned out to be not such a great guy. He was cheating on her with various people. We know he made out with her sister Amy.
Remember Barry? Remember him? How we used to make out all the time after you went to sleep.
We know that he also had an affair with her best friend.
When Barry was engaged to you, he and I kind of had a little thing on the side.
So he wasn't such a great guy, but we don't find out that until later. So Rachel didn't know that, and she just left him at the altar, which is, I think, a really terrible thing to do. And when Rachel actually attends his wedding to Mindy, trying to show what a kind of good sport she is, I guess, much is made of like how embarrassing it is for her, but she doesn't really seem to care that it was embarrassing for him when she left him. So again, it's all about her and how humiliating it is for her to turn up and how brave she is to show her face with all her old friends. But yeah, you kind of screwed that up, Rachel. So one thing to Rachel's credit is that she does start her life all over again. She was probably never expecting to work a day in her life, and then she has to start right at the bottom. She has no qualifications, presumably. She doesn't seem to have been particularly academic at school. So she gets a job as a waitress. Good, honest work, nothing wrong with that, but she's pretty terrible at it.
And when you have a second later, I want to show you why we don't just trap spiders under coffee mugs and leave them there.
So she tells Gunther, literally, I don't care. I don't care.
Fine. Gunther, you know what? I am a terrible waitress. Do you know why I am a terrible waitress? Because I don't care. I don't care. I don't care which pot is regular and which pot is decaf. I don't care where the tray spot is. I just don't care. This is not what I want to do.
Now that is a horrible attitude to have. We've all had jobs like this. I have worked making coffee. I used to be a runner for a film post-production company, so I'd be making coffee for all the actors and all the crazy other people who come along, all the entourage. And you would get your divas. I remember one woman being like, can you make it like not quite boiling because I don't want to burn my mouth? And I just kind of think you could just leave it a minute until it cools down and then drink it. But you can't say that. So I would just have to go, of course, yes, I'll make it however you want, because that was my job. And I think the trouble is when people think they're above a particular job, like, ugh, I'm not making coffee. It is a very important job. People need their coffee. If anyone remembers the video I made on Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers, one of her things is like, whatever job you're doing, give it your all. Act as if it's a really important job. Act as if you are the most vital person in the world. You need to turn up. You need to do a good job. If Rachel had had that attitude, if she'd been like, I need to make sure that everyone gets their coffee right, she might have flourished in Central Perk. She may even have got talking to some like executive who would be like, hey, you could be my assistant. She could have probably actually progressed in her career faster because more opportunities would have been open to her if she'd been a harder worker. But she just didn't care. She wanted to sit around and chat to her friends. And Rachel seems to have this idea that even though she has no qualifications and no experience, she should just be able to walk into a job doing exactly what she wants to do. I guess she's been raised with a sense of entitlement, which we'll get to later in the video. But if you talk to anyone at the height of their career, you'll find that they have paid their dues, they've done the crappy jobs and progressed through them. And while she does later end up doing really well in her career, out of nowhere really, not many people get jobs in fashion just handed to them when they have zero contacts. She doesn't actually seem to be very good in these ones either.
Remember that thing I told you that happened yesterday? Well, it didn't happen.
You didn't cancel the fabric order from Taiwan?
Okay, two things didn't happen. Mr. Zellner came into my office after lunch. He put them on my desk, and then I put it posted on it that said, must go out today.
You know, this happens all the time to my computer at work.
Well, what do you do?
Well, I usually go play Tetris on somebody else's computer.
So who knows how she actually progressed, because it's not because she's super efficient.
She must have ended up improving because Mr. Zellner fights to keep her, which is surprising because she's an absolute nightmare of an employee from the very first interview. She yells at him. She has an affair with a subordinate, which I'm pretty sure is frowned upon in most industries. She tells Joey that Mr. Zellner wants to buy her baby. She gets caught interviewing for another company, and there's all this toing and froing with the job in Paris. So I'm really surprised that Mr. Zellner actually wanted to keep her in the end.
Our third reason, and you've probably been waiting for this one, she ruins all of Ross's relationships. She is so jealous and bitter, she cannot let him be happy. So when Ross starts going out with Julie, because he has no idea that Rachel's feelings for him have changed overnight, Julie is about as nice a character as you can find. Her only crime is dating Ross. And Rachel is constantly horrible to her. Snippy and unpleasant. Julie picks up on it.
Ross is so crazy about you, and I really wanted you to like me, and it's probably me just being totally paranoid, but I kind of got the feeling that maybe you don't.
Well, you're not totally paranoid.
Rachel pretends that like she wants to be friends.
Would you like to go to a movie sometime or something?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But then calls her a manipulative bitch.
But a manipulative bitch.
She's not very nice. She agrees to let Phoebe set him up with a friend of hers because she thinks that friend is bald.
I'm sorry, I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, I said it was okay when I thought she was some weird bald chick. I mean, you know, that girl has got hair all over her head.
Then, of course, she heads to Ross's wedding to try and stop that. And Hugh Laurie makes a little cameo just to tell her how horrible she is.
Well, you say you love this man, and yet you're about to ruin the happiest day of his life. I'm afraid I have to agree with your friend Phoebes. This is a terrible, terrible plan.
But he has to know how I feel.
But why? He loves this Emily person. No good can come of this.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Oh, no.
Not only does she race across to London to try and stop Ross's wedding to Emily, she then basically sabotages any chance of them getting back together by attempting to go on his honeymoon with him.
Why don't you come? I mean, I have 2 tickets. Why not?
Oh, Ross, I really?
And she also pretty much ruins the relationship with Mona, which does last quite a long time because Mona's very, very tolerant. And like Ross, I judge her for it. She should really have been more wary of the many red flags, which include Rachel being pregnant with Ross's baby and Rachel's dad coming around to yell at Ross and Mona.
How can I be sure of that?
Oh, because we drove each other crazy. I mean, he was possessive, he was jealous, he could never just let the little things go.
And it's not until Rachel actually moves in with Ross and crashes their Valentine's night that Mona finally ends the relationship.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get in my sweats and eat this in bed.
And you thought she was gonna be in our way.
So she does her best to ruin every relationship that Ross has. Even the ones where it doesn't seem like she's trying, she still manages to.
None of that compared to how kind and gentle and thoughtful he is.
Probably shouldn't touch me.
Forgot my purse. Oh, you guys made up.
He's a good kisser, isn't he?
Annoying.
Rachel's actually very judgmental of other women about how they should be behaving. If they're flirty, then they're sluts.
What's going on? Do you not like Katie?
No, she was nice. I mean, she's a little slutty, but who isn't?
Other women really bring out the worst in Rachel is when she becomes the most unpleasant.
Yeah, actually I'm free now. You want to grab some coffee or?
Sure. Horny bitch. No, you're a horny bitch. No, you're a horny bitch.
It still blows my mind that people like to refer to Ross as being the jealous, controlling one, because Rachel is a million times worse. And I know she's got the pregnancy hormones raging here, but I think she's pretty much saying what she would always have liked to have said to him.
I don't want you to date her.
What? Why? What are you jealous?
Yes. And not because I want you to go out with me, because I don't want you to go out with anybody. Okay, I know it's a terrible thing to even think this, and it's completely inappropriate, but I want you to be at my constant beck and call, 24 hours a day. I'm very sorry, but that is just the way that I feel.
She also hates Charlie when she is a rival for Joey's affection. She's actually quite hostile to Charlie even before she's kissed Joey, so I wonder if there's a subliminal thing going on where she knows she's a great match for Ross and that's why she's just predisposed to hate her.
You know, I was watching this thing on TV this morning about Newcastle disease, and I think I might have it.
Newcastle disease is a secretion-borne virus that only affects chickens and other poultry.
Okay, who's this?
What? What's going on?
Joey is having a secret Days of Our Lives party up on the roof. And he didn't want you guys to know about it, but I came over here to tell you.
I thought you came to say you were sick.
All right, professor or detective?
She cannot handle competition from other women. And you're going to hate me for saying this, but there is one occasion where Rachel is uncharacteristically gracious about Ross seeing another woman, and that's when he first hits it off with Emily. She tells him to go for it, and you think, oh, maybe she's turned a corner because she has this big crush on Joshua, but she's not being honest with herself about her feelings for Ross. Now, I actually think in this moment, she is encouraging him to go out with Emily because she figures, you know, whether consciously or unconsciously, if he is in a long-distance relationship with Emily, that kind of keeps him safe from other women in New York. So she won't have to see him date someone else right in front of her face, but it will probably just fizzle out because it's a long distance relationship. So she's obviously not expecting him to marry the woman straight away. But I think this is why she thinks she can afford to be generous and go, yeah, go for it, Ross. And the other time that she really is supportive of his relationship is much later when there's a lot more water under the bridge. And that is when he's dating Elizabeth, but she's dating Elizabeth's dad. So I think she kind of figures she owns Ross with that.
So she's very entitled and she treats Monica like a slave. So first of all, she doesn't invite Monica to her wedding, which they used to be best friends. I guess they've fallen out of touch, so it's not that bad. But later on in the series, Monica actually gets invited to Barry and Mindy's wedding. So unless it's because they all grew up knowing Richard, he was the local doctor, maybe she's his plus one, I don't know. Monica does go to Barry and Mindy's wedding, so she's kind of in with that set, but she just doesn't get invited to Rachel's. So Rachel then turns up and pours her heart out to Monica, and I guess Monica could just take this as a compliment that she is the kind of person that Rachel knows she can turn up and she will help her, which is a very nice thing. But she just kind of announces that she's moving in with Monica, which isn't great.
Look, Daddy, it's my life. Well, maybe I'll just stay here with Monica.
Well, I guess we've established she's staying here with Monica.
And she never really acknowledges the fact that it's Monica's apartment. Like, she thinks that because she lives there too, she has equal rights and equal say. And really, Monica is doing her a huge favour, not just in letting her live there, but, you know, Monica has this amazing apartment because it's her grandmother's and she's subletting it from her and it's rent controlled. But basically, Monica has a fantastic apartment, which she allows Rachel access to, and then Rachel acts like it's just completely normal and she's entitled to it.
You still think of it as your apartment, don't you?
No.
Yes, you do. You think of it as your apartment, and I'm just someone who rents a room.
Rachel, I feel really bad about what happened. What are you doing?
I'm unpacking.
What?
I'm not moving. Is that picture straight?
It needs to go about 20 blocks to the left.
Hey, you know what? You're the one who wants to make this big change and move in with Chandler. You should be the one to go. Why do I have to leave?
Because it's my apartment.
Well, it's mine too. What else you got?
And she also emotionally blackmails Monica into basically committing insurance fraud, which is highly illegal and would get them in all sorts of trouble if they actually had been found out.
You don't have insurance?
Why? How much is this going to cost?
I have no idea, but x-rays alone could be a couple $100.
Well, what are we going to do?
Ooh, there's not much we can do.
Unless I use yours.
No.
Well, now, wait a second. Who did I just put as my in case of emergency person?
It's insurance fraud.
Well, all right, then forget it. Might as well just go home. Ow!
Okay.
Completely unreasonable, really horrible thing to do, and she puts Monica in a really bad situation there. She's a terrible friend. And the emotional blackmail doesn't end there. She makes Monica feel bad for befriending Julie, who is Ross's new girlfriend. Now, of course, when your brother starts dating someone new, you're going to try your best to get on with them. You're not going to kind of go, oh, but my roommate has just decided that she likes you, so I can't be friends with your girlfriend. But Rachel basically acts like she should. And I know it's played for laughs, that it's like, oh, it's like cheating and they went to Bloomingdale's.
You were with Julie?
Oh, look. When it started, I was just trying to be nice to her because she was my brother's girlfriend. And then one thing led to another, and before I knew it, we were shopping.
But this is such unreasonable behaviour. As we've said, Rachel is not a good waitress. She knows this, we know this, Monica knows this. So when Monica needs a waitress for a very important event, she asks one of the girls at her workplace, which makes more sense anyway because she works with this person. They know each other's rhythms. It's food rather than just coffee. Of course she's going to ask this other girl to work for her, but Rachel takes offence.
Oh, I asked one of the waitresses at work if she'd help me out. Waitressing?
Uh-oh.
Of course I thought of you. But.
And then she makes Monica feel so bad. And this is just not how friends behave. Also, when she's on the date with Michael and she's getting drunk because she's upset about Ross and Julie, and she doesn't even ask to borrow her phone, she demands to borrow her phone like it's just the most natural thing in the world.
What?
Hi, I'm sorry. I need to borrow your phone for just 1 minute.
I'm talking.
I can see that. Just one phone call. I'll be very quick. I'll even pay for it myself.
I think that's super entitled. And then she throws it in the ice bucket when she's done.
And that, my friend, is what they call closure.
That's so rude.
I felt under a lot of pressure to have a good hair day when I'm talking about Rachel. And I always thought her casual wardrobe was really underrated. I liked all the little baseball tops she wore, so I thought I'd wear my genuine vintage, a late 90s baseball top, which is very appropriate for being bad.
Rachel's very manipulative. She convinces Bonnie that she should shave her head again so that Ross won't like her anymore.
It was so much easier when I used to shave my head.
You know, I gotta tell you, I just loved your look when you were bald.
And then, and I think this is the pièce de résistance of manipulation that Rachel does, when she basically convinces Ross that he should finish with Bonnie. So Bonnie leaves, she's out of the picture, and only then does Rachel say,
And before you can even think about the two of us getting back together, I just need to know how you feel about this stuff.
and she puts conditions on it. When Ross could be forgiven for thinking that they were already back together, then she throws him this curveball. So I think this is really, really sneaky of her. And also, again, with the being competitive with other women, when she has a crush on Tag, she tells everyone that he's gay, so he can't get any action from women at the office. She tells him that Phoebe's gay when he shows an interest in her. She just like uses gayness as a weapon all the time.
You know what? You should have the other waitresses do that too.
They already do. That's why they call it the tray spot.
Jeez, I always heard him talk about that. I sort of just thought it was like a club they went to. Oh, God.
People were surprised that Rachel and Joey were matched together. I think they're a much more logical match, actually.
So as we know, Joey ends up being so dumb it's ridiculous. But I think in the early days, he had a much sharper wit, but I think they didn't want to end up with just like two Chandlers, and that's why they kind of changed him to be silly. But in the early series, he was actually more intelligent than Rachel. He's the one who understands that Xerox machines are Xerox machines.
Rach, did you proofread these?
Yeah, why?
Nothing. I'm sure they'll be impressed with your excellent computer skills.
Oh, my God! Oh, do you think it's on all of them?
Oh, no, I'm sure the Xerox machine caught a few.
And I think even he kind of figured out that you don't put meat in a trifle. Or at least he knew that there was something up with that, whereas Rachel just accepts that it's weird.
First there's a layer of ladyfingers, then a layer of jam, then custard, which I made from scratch. Then raspberries, more ladyfingers, then beef sauteed with peas and onions, then a little bit more custard, and then bananas, and then I just put some whipped cream on top.
What was the one right before bananas?
The beef? Yeah, that was weird to me too. But then, you know, I thought, well, there's minced meat pie. I mean, that's an English dessert. These people just put very strange things in their food. You know?
And I know British people do have weird food tastes, but I have to say when it comes to like beans on toast, don't knock it till you've tried it. And later she and Joey are completely simpatico. They're both laughing at the same words, homo and bones and stuff, in Ross's paleontology lecture.
And the example of Homo erectus.
Erectus?
Homo.
So I think they're a pretty good match in terms of intellect. So when Ross confides in Rachel about his Princess Leia fantasy and exposing your fantasies to someone, that's something that you do when you trust them. And she betrays that trust. She just tells everyone. And the thing is, she knows it's wrong because when Phoebe starts joking about it, she tries to shush her.
Rach, look. Ooh, hi. Oh, where is my strong Ross Skywalker to come rescue me?
But then when Ross actually confronts her about this and points out that it's wrong, she just kind of does this whole thing like, oh, it's so sad that you guys don't share this stuff with your friends. Oh, it's so tragic.
That was supposed to be like a private, personal thing between us.
Okay, Ross, Phoebe is my girlfriend, okay? We tell each other everything, you know? I mean, come on, guys do the same thing. I mean, what about that locker room stuff?
That's different, okay? That's like who dated a stripper or who did it on the back of the Staten Island ferry.
Both of those, Joey?
Yeah. But you don't talk about, like, you know, your girlfriend and the intimate stuff you do with her.
Not even with your best friend?
No.
That is so sad. You're missing out on so much, Ross. I mean, the bonding and the sharing, you know, and knowing that someone else is going through the same thing you are.
Huh.
But it's really not cool. And she also makes problems out of nowhere. Like when Ross is very, very stressed and anxious about getting to his important event on time. And she's just like, no. Because he spoke to her in a slightly less than respectful manner.
7:33. I have 7 minutes. I have 7 minutes.
Okay, Beeps, quick, which shoes should I wear? The black or the purple?
Just pick one, okay?
Oh, okay, the black.
But do you have black with like little strappies?
Yeah, but those really go better with pants. Maybe I should wear pants.
Yeah, pants. What an idea. Or better yet, how about you go without any pants? Look, I don't know what you're trying to do to me, but just get your butt in there and pick out any shoes that fit your feet, okay? No, I don't care if they match. I don't care if they make your ankles or your knees or your earlobes look fat, okay? No. Just do it. Go in there, pick something out so we can go.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna go.
You're not gonna go.
No, I think I'm I'm gonna catch up on my correspondence. Well, ever since I was humiliated and yelled at in front of my friends, I'm just, I don't know, not in a very museum, benefit-y kind of mood.
Right, okay.
Which I think we can forgive when people are stressed and everyone's just like taking forever to do stuff. I would argue that what he said was not that bad, really.
Look, Rich, I'm sorry, okay? Look, I was a jerk, okay? I'm sorry I yelled. I want you there. I need you there. Look, what can I do to show you how much I want you to be there?
You could drink the fat.
All right, welcome to an adult conversation.
No, wait a minute. That actually, that sounds interesting.
What?
I think you should drink the fat.
Cheers.
No, okay, don't, I'll go.
You will?
You were really gonna do that, weren't you?
Wanting him to drink fat to prove that he's sorry. She's not mature enough for a relationship with him. She also makes problems out of nowhere when she's reading a self-help book and she suddenly decides that everything Ross does is incredibly unreasonable when it's not.
Sweetie, we've got to go.
No!
No?
No! Why do we always have to do everything according to your timetable?
Actually, it's the movie theater that has the timetable. It's so you don't miss the beginning.
No, see, this isn't about the movie theater. This is about you stealing my wind.
So Rachel is completely incapable of having a grown-up conversation in a relationship, and this causes all the problems with Ross. So when Mark appears in her life and starts promising her jobs in fashion, she seems to think that this is because he can somehow just see she has a genius for fashion, and he just believes that she's going to be so good in her career. And it's obvious to Ross and the guys that it's probably not why he picked her up in a diner, because he's just so altruistic. He just wants to find young women and give them jobs.
I mean, who says you have to sit here and wait for him? You've got to make stuff happen.
Yeah, but you don't want to seem too pushy.
Honey, it's not pushy. He gave her his home number.
What? He gave you his home number, as in, like, to his home?
Yeah, and you don't mind if I call because you only want good things for me.
That's right, good things. That is what I said.
And the thing is, this is not Ross's finest hour, and obviously we will get to that in his video. But he's right. Mark does want to get into Rachel's pants. That is his primary objective. And she just won't acknowledge it. If she had just said to Ross, yeah, Mark clearly does have a crush on me. He would like to date me, but he's not going to because I'm dating you and I'm not interested in him. There would have been no problem. But because she can't do that and she just won't have a conversation like this, she's just like, every time he tries to talk about it, she's just like, oh, can't talk about this anymore. Let's have a break. It ruins the relationship.
Is this about Mark?
Oh my God.
Okay, it's not.
Oh my God. I cannot keep having this same fight over and over again, Ross.
And later when she's living in Ross's apartment with baby Emma, and they're kind of getting a little bit close, but then she kisses Gavin.
Oh, God. You know what? I can't believe you were making such a big deal about this. It was one kiss, one guy, one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
What about the guy from the bar?
What? Who?
The guy you gave your number to.
How do you know about that?
Because he called here looking for you. So don't tell me this kissing this guy from work is a one-time thing, okay? Because you've been out there in bars and on balconies for over a month now, and you don't even have the courtesy to tell me.
Why didn't I get that message?
But when Ross makes the kind of reasonable observation that you're moving on without having had a conversation about it, when it also comes up that he didn't pass on a message, she just jumps on that. She goes on the defensive and she's just like, oh, why didn't I get a message? This isn't working. And it's just like, just have a conversation.
Okay, the point is, you are the one who moved on and didn't tell anyone.
God, Ross, this is just so messed up.
If you have ever had a relationship with someone like this, you'll know how frustrating it is. Anytime you're just like, can we just have a conversation about this issue? And they're like, oh, no, I can't. Oh, I can't do this. And you're just like, just have the conversation. It's much easier than just breaking up with people. And some people are like this. They would rather break up than have an uncomfortable conversation. But it's a requirement for a grown-up relationship, and Rachel can't do it.
Hey.
Hi. Can Emma and I live here for a while?
She is a terrible friend to Monica. She really is. Now remember, getting married, having children, that's one of the most important things to Monica. Is what she's been waiting for basically since birth. And it's finally happening. She's finally found the guy that she wants to commit to, who wants to commit to her. They get engaged and she's thrilled, and Rachel craps all over it.
Well, let's just say it's not the first time you've stolen my thunder. My Sweet 16, remember you went to third base with my cousin Charlie?
Monica, your Sweet 16 was like 1,000,000 years ago.
And yet, here you are doing it again.
Oh, Monica, I don't want to steal your stupid thunder.
Oh, please, why else would you have made out with Ross?
Got me.
I just thought it'd be nice if I could have just this one night.
I swear, I never wanted any part of your night. No one was supposed to see us kissing.
Oh, is that why you did it in the secret hallway where nobody ever goes?
I think it's probably one of the deepest emotional truths in the whole show when Monica points out that Rachel is upset because her formerly fat friend is getting engaged before she is. I think that cuts quite deep. But it's interesting, isn't it, that Rachel cannot just let her have that night.
Why? Why would I ever want to take away from your night?
I don't know. Maybe you're feeling a little resentful. Maybe you thought that you'd get married first. Maybe you can't stand the fact that your formerly fat friend is getting married before you.
Oh, wow. You know what? That is so unfair. You know what? Now I want to steal your thunder. Come on, Ross, let's go have sex.
And I think the fact is, Monica knows her really well. So even if we don't necessarily pick up on everything that Rachel does, Monica has got her number. She knows her of old. She knows the kind of tricks that she pulls. So yeah, if Monica thinks that's what she's doing, I think it's a pretty fair bet that that's what she was doing. So when Rachel can't decide on a baby girl's name, and she's all hormonal, so, you know, it's going to take a while sometimes to feel right about stuff, she steals Monica's.
Well, what are we going to do?
It's okay, honey, you'll find a name.
Oh, easy for you to say. You already know what your kids' names are going to be.
And Monica knows she's going to do it.
Well, tell us, what are they?
Okay, if it's a boy, it's Daniel.
And if it's a girl?
I don't want to say.
And Rachel does the whole like, oh, no, it's fine. You can keep the name. And Monica's like, no, it's fine.
Don't tell us. We're not going to want it.
Okay. It's Emma.
Emma. See, I don't want it.
Now, I think some people are going to just dismiss this, but among women, this is a major faux pas. It's very disrespectful in our culture to steal a baby name. This was even a storyline in other iconic shows. Sex and the City, Charlotte has an idea for a baby name that no one else has had. She confides in someone and of course they steal it. Tip for the day, never tell anyone your baby names. It's just no good can come of this. Now, I know this is fiction. I know they're not real and I'm taking all this way too seriously, but I really hope that Monica made up fake names because she knew that Rachel was going to do this. And I think she did, because when Monica does have two babies of her own, obviously she doesn't use Emma, but she actually names the baby after her birth mother, which is nice. But she names the boy baby something different from what she told Rachel. She uses her father's name, Jack, which is a nice gesture, but nothing's changed. Like, her father's still alive, he's not sick. So I think that she was always planning to use a different name and she tricked Rachel. And to be honest, if you have a friend like Rachel, I would advise you to do the same. Just always give fake names.
Okay, whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa, watch the tongue, people. We got a baby over here.
So it shouldn't surprise anyone that a selfish person is going to be a selfish parent. And Rachel is true to form from the pregnancy, where she's just unbearable to be around, but she makes her friends hang out with her anyway.
Whoa, I have never been so uncomfortable in my entire life.
Oh, I know. I've been there. I remember toward the end.
Oh, Phoebe, that's a great story. Could you tell it to me while you're getting me some iced tea? If I don't come out in 5 minutes, it's because I've choked to death on the potpourri steak.
Rach, we gotta go.
In a minute!
People ask me why we're not together. I just don't know what to tell them.
To watching a childbirth video that they are already traumatized by. They beg her not to watch it, and she does the whole emotional blackmail thing. Oh, you're not going to make me watch it on my own, are you?
Well, let's just say that it's ironic how footage of someone being born can make you want to kill yourself.
Well, now wait, now I'm all freaked out. Come on, you guys will watch it with me?
No, but I will leave a sweater that smells like me right next to you.
Come on, seriously, you guys, you're not gonna make me watch this alone.
Then they all have to sit around and listen to her newborn baby cry for hours. All of these friends are very codependent. I think if you have a friend who tries to pull this on you, just have some boundaries. Just like, no, I have other places I need to be now. I'm not going to listen to your baby cry that you made cry.
Oh my God! How long has she been crying?
About a week and a half. All right, well, looks like you guys got it under control, so I'm just gonna go. No? Really? Misery really does love company? All right.
And then we come to Hugsy. Now, I know there will be people watching this going, of course Joey should let a baby have his toy. Like, it's not appropriate for a grown man to have a penguin.
Rach, what's Hugsy doing in the crib with Emma?
Oh, well, she was just crawling around and she found him, so I just let her sleep with him. That's all right, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a stuffed animal. You know, it's for kids, not for adults.
But I disagree. If Rachel wants Emma to have a Hugsy toy, she can buy her own. She's got the money.
A brand new Hugsy!
Oh, that's so great. Now Emma has 2 Hugsies.
No.
Why does she think she's entitled to Joey's belongings? Joey clearly does care for Hugsy very deeply. And it is his, like, comfort toy. And not to be too kind of 21st century, you know, and grown adults should have toys if they want to, but they can. She's not entitled to just take a toy because she perceives it to be more appropriate for her child. It's not hers. Get your own.
If you need Hugsy, don't worry. Emma will totally understand. I won't, but whatever.
Well, she can have them.
Oh, sweet. I knew Uncle Joey would step up. Look, Emma, look who's back.
No, forget it. I can't do it.
Are you? You're gonna take Hugsy away from a little child?
How do you think I got him in the first place?
Why does she feel entitled to other people's belongings? It's so weird. And then there's a whole first birthday debacle where people have jobs to go to and reservations, and she's like, no, you can't leave. No, this is meant to be lighthearted, but I actually do kind of get anxiety. I actually do feel my blood boiling when I watch that episode, because I'm just like, why are these friends so... Why did they all just give in to her? Why don't they just set some healthy boundaries?
We're Aunt Monica and Uncle Chandler, by the way. You may not recognize us because we haven't spoken to your parents in 17 years.
We used to be married, but then we missed a weekend away together and things kind of unraveled. Because of you.
Also, it's such a shame that the show cut off when it did, because I think watching Rachel and Monica be parents together would have been very interesting. Remember Monica's face when Rachel yells at the kids on Halloween?
You shut up.
Monica is not going to let Rachel look after her kids very often, is she? They are going to fall out at some point about the way they raise their kids. I know they're fictitious, I get very involved. So it seems pretty clear that she was a bitch in school, because it gets confirmed to us several times. To her credit, she was friends with Monica all through high school, and Rachel being a cheerleader and dating all cute boys, I think she is meant to be one of the cool kids. So it's nice and kind of odd that she's friends with Monica, who is definitely not. In fact, according to 90s culture, just being fat apparently made her basically untouchable, which is weird, and I'm glad that we're past that attitude now. Maybe it's like that thing that people always talk about, of having the fat friend so that you seem more attractive, possibly. I don't know. Is that a real thing? I feel like it happens a lot in fiction. I don't know if it actually happens in real life. I don't think she was actually necessarily mean to people, because the animal control lady basically implies that she just ignored her. She was just like, oh, couldn't you just have said hello to me?
First of all, we haven't been introduced. I'm Monica Geller.
Oh, my God, you are. And you're Rachel Green.
Yeah.
Louisa Giannetti. Lincoln High. I sat behind you guys in homeroom. You have no idea who I am, do you?
No, not at all.
Well, maybe that's because you spent 4 years ignoring me. I mean, would it have been so hard to say, "Morning, Louisa," or "Nice overalls"?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's not so much you. You were fat. You had your own problems. But you, what a bitch.
So, I mean, ignoring people isn't necessarily the same as being horrible to them. And then I do wonder if the Brad Pitt, the Will character, saying that she made his life a misery, was that the same? Because I think sometimes guys can perceive that you're being abusive to them if you don't give them sexual favors. If you don't show any interest in them as a potential date, sometimes they take that as you're being really horrible to them.
I meant to tell you, Ross is coming.
Ross is coming great. I love Ross.
Oh, good. And Rachel Green, too.
Oh.
Is there a problem?
No. It's okay. It's just, God, I hated her.
What?
Yeah, I hated her. She was horrible to me in high school.
Oh, good. There you go.
Rachel Green.
Oh, that's right. Are you gonna be okay?
Oh, I'll be fine. It's just, God, I hate her, Ross. I hate her.
That's Will from high school.
Oh, I do not remember him. Hi, Will, right?
Right.
Right. Hi, I'm Rachel Green.
Oh, I remember you.
Really? Aren't you sweet? I gotta tell you though, I'm having the hardest time placing you.
So maybe she didn't necessarily bully anyone. Maybe she just kind of didn't bother to talk to people that she didn't want to. And you know what? The more I think about this, the more it makes sense, because Monica doesn't even know why he hates Rachel. And you'd think if Rachel had been going around actually bullying people, then Monica would have known about that. And the fact that Will and Ross were in a club for hating Rachel, we know that Ross was secretly in love with her, so maybe Will was too. It does kind of indicate that maybe she just wasn't interested in them. So I think I've actually talked myself out of this one. I don't think she was a bully. I think she just didn't notice people and they got angry about it. I guess we can also add this to the stupid list, but she's not very good at reading people, is she?
Look at the way he's just staring at me. I think he's trying to mouth something to me, but I can't make it out.
Okay, dinner's ready.
So there we go. That is why Rachel is a bad friend. But Rachel does have some very endearing qualities, which we will get to in the next video, which I will link below. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me today. I have enjoyed getting that off my chest. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And I'll be posting the next video about why Rachel is best friend very soon, to be followed by more Friends content. So look out for that, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.